Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, apologies if the quality of this video isn't too good. I'm well aware that the quality of my videos isn't brilliant anyway, and I know with regards to my last video, watching it back, that the quality was actually quite poor indeed, so I really do apologise for that. Hopefully this video is slightly better, and hopefully it's not too much of an issue for you. And as always, please respect my opinions as I will with yours. I'm aware that I look a bit like a ghost, so I'm just going to adjust this. Is that better? Hopefully so. Anyway, while I'm in the mood on this Monday evening here in England, I thought that I would make a quick video, and I'm sure that I will make an updated version of this closer to next year's Eurovision Song Contest, which will be staged in the Netherlands, of course, next May, in either Rotterdam or Maastricht. We will soon know, perhaps by this time next week. And the topic of this video is a bunch of things that I would like to see occur at next year's competition in the Netherlands. And the inspiration for this video is Meg Green, a really great YouTuber here on YouTube. She uploaded a video earlier talking about what she would like to see in Eurovision 2020, and I watched it, left a comment, and I thought I'd make my own version of that video. She made some very good points, and some of them have sort of crossed over onto my little list that I just a few moments ago wrote down. So feel free to let me know what your thoughts are as well. What do you want to see next year when it comes to Eurovision? So this is in a random order, and this will probably be a rather rambling sort of video, as my videos usually are, so there's no surprise. First of all, I think something that Eurovision doesn't desperately need but could really benefit from is more variety in terms of genres and language. I think we're slowly improving on the language front, and I think Portugal's win with a Portuguese language song a couple of years ago has really helped matters and moved things forwards. But we need more variety. So talking of languages first, for example, Germany almost never sing in German. I think the last time they did was 2007. Roger Cicero, rest in peace, fantastic song. Frauen regieren die Welt, women rule the world. That was the last time Germany sang completely in German, I think. Don't quote me on that. And then, of course, you have countries like Portugal who always sing in Portuguese, which is really pleasing to see. They're very proud of their language, and why not? It's a beautiful language. You don't often hear languages like Latvian. You don't often hear Estonian or Lithuanian. And it would be nice next year if we did hear those languages. And in future contests, you know, will the Czech Republic send a song in Czech next year? Will Germany send a song in German? Will Sweden send a song in Swedish? Probably not. Will Malta send a song in Maltese? They haven't really done that since they debuted in the competition. Will Ireland send a song in Irish? They've only ever done that once. I'd like to see these languages at the competition. If anything, Junior Eurovision is more diverse. We had Welsh at Junior Eurovision last year. We'll have it again this year. So will we have a Welsh language song by the United Kingdom at Eurovision 2020? No, is the answer, because as if the BBC would consider it. But if I was Welsh, I would be really, really wanting that to happen. If I was Scottish, I would want a Scots language song in the mix for the UK as well. Anyway, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent there. I would just like to see more languages, perhaps a language that we have never heard before. There aren't many that I can immediately think of. We've never had Faroese, but I think we'd only get that language if the Faroe Islands debuted, and that's not happening anytime soon. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure we'll have a good range next year, but it would be good if we had a bigger range next year. Anyway, going on to the genres point, there's an awful lot of pop. an awful lot of pop. Nothing wrong with that. Pop is accessible. It's what a lot of people across the continent and in Australia listen to. But we need more genres, and I think it would be very welcome. We need rock. Rock always stands out because we don't often get it at the contest. Hungary last year, Iceland this year, that wasn't really a rock song, it was more techno-punk, but you see what I mean. We don't often get rock. We don't often get country. There's a blossoming country scene here in the UK, but the UK just have no intention of sending a country act anytime soon. Jazz, almost invisible in the world of Eurovision, and yet Italy 2011 finished second. Probably should have won. So more genres, not just pop. More traditional music, that would be welcome, and more variety of languages, of course. I do apologise if you can hear my next door neighbour's dog barking. It is so utterly frustrating. Anyway, next on my list, I'd like to see a really strong production. I'm absolutely sure we will. No disrespect to Israel, but I think next year's show will be stronger and slicker. This is a country that has tons of experience hosting major international events, music events. The Ahoy, the possible venue in Rotterdam, has played host to a multitude of international singers, so they really know what they're doing. Good hosts, a little bit of humour would be welcome, and just a really strong production, a nice big stage that looks great on television. It would be really welcome. I'd like to see a country that has never won before win. So we've got a couple of countries in the running there: Iceland, Malta, Cyprus, who very nearly did win last year, Lithuania, Hungary, who I think will win within the next 10 years, Romania, Poland, who I also think will win very soon, and of course our current holders of Junior Eurovision. I'd like to see a new country win. The last one was Portugal, before that was Azerbaijan, and then I think before that was Russia. So I'd like to see that happen as well. Let me know your thoughts. Which new country will win next? Let me know. I'd like there to be no controversy. There will be, because there always is. But I'd like there to be more emphasis on the songs and the participants rather than anything too political. Given that the contest is in a country that doesn't really make a lot of headlines, certainly in Britain, with regards to its political situation, I imagine that next May we won't be hearing too much controversy coming out of the Netherlands, Rotterdam, Maastricht, whichever host city it is. I don't think I really need to add too much more to that point. As long as there's no talk of a withdrawal or anything like that. Then we move on to the UK and the other automatic qualifiers doing well. This is wishful thinking. I'm not hopeful. I think the UK, if they continue to do what they're currently doing, what we're currently doing, we will suffer again. There needs to be a complete overhaul of Britain's approach and national final procedure with regards to Eurovision. I might make a whole new video about that at some point. Italy will continue to do well. I think they will probably do very well next year, perhaps push for the win. They know what they're doing. They really want to win. Sanremo is a classy affair. They send good songs pretty much every year. They're going to win sooner rather than later. Germany have lost the plot. I mean, they really have. To think that they won in 2010, they did okay in 2011 and 2012, they did okay last year, but otherwise it's been a pretty poor decade. Something needs to change in Germany, I'm not sure what. Spain, I really don't know. I could make a 5-hour-long video in great depth talking about Spain and their minor successes and utter failures at Eurovision. Spain should not have finished so low down on the leaderboard this year, but again, there needs to be major changes in the way Spain approaches Eurovision. I'm not sure their current format works. Let me know your thoughts. France, there were promising signs a few years ago, but they're actually going backwards now. So there's a lot of pressure next year to send something really spectacular. The UK I've spoken about. I just want to see the automatic finalists really do a good job. I'd love to see Spain win. I'd be thrilled. Eurovision in Barcelona? Well, hey, I'd love it. But it's just looking so unlikely. There needs to be a big change in the way that the automatic qualifiers approach Eurovision, and they just need to sing quality songs, which you could argue these automatic qualifiers haven't done for some time consistently. Anyway, I'm rambling, moving on to the next point. I'd like to see more countries return. Bulgaria, not looking good. They've got no money, from the sounds of it. Andorra, too small, they're more into skiing. Luxembourg, it looked promising this time last month, they're not coming back. Bosnia, no money. Doesn't look like Kazakhstan will be debuting either, but who knows? Maybe, behind the scenes something's going on with Kazakhstan at the moment. Who else is there? Morocco, very unlikely to happen. And then of course Turkey, and they won't be returning next year, I don't think. It's probably been confirmed, but I'd like to see Turkey return. I think, personally, they withdrew after 2012 because they did so poorly in the jury vote in 2012. They did very well with the public, very poorly with the jury, and they probably thought, we're never going to do well in the jury vote again, let's withdraw. Plus, I think some people at the broadcaster probably have a very old-fashioned view of Eurovision. They were talking about Conchita, or we can't have a Turkish audience watching people like Conchita on the Eurovision stage, ignoring the fact that we have had arguably people very similar to Conchita at Eurovision before. Dana International, not quite the same, but you see what I mean. I'm going off on a massive tangent again. I'd like to see Turkey return because they were very good. And also Slovakia, who really should return because their next door neighbours, the Czech Republic, are doing really well at the moment. So returning countries, I'd love to see it. Debuting countries, I'd like to see as well. There are a few other bits and pieces I could mention here. A non-blue colour scheme. The national colour of the Netherlands is pretty much orange. Orange is my least favourite colour, but I will make an exception for Eurovision next May. I shall don an orange outfit and buy a Dutch flag and celebrate. I'd also like to see Sweden send a woman, because they're incapable of doing it at the moment with regards to Eurovision. Victoria, sitting right there, Lisa Ajax, many other female musicians, great female musicians in Sweden. It's about time Sweden picked one, but they've got to have a good song first. More languages, more genres, a really slick production. I'm just wondering if there's anything else. What did Meg say? Interval act. I don't really watch the interval act, but I would definitely like to see something that ties in with the host nation. Madonna had absolutely nothing to do with Israel. It was pointless her being there. She did a poor job. I'd like to see a celebration of all things Dutch next year. Tributes. Meg mentioned tributes to the two Dutch winners from the early days of the contest. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Lenny Koer perform her winning song from '69. Teaching. I don't think they're together anymore. I don't think they've been together for a long while, but I'd like to see them perhaps reform to perform Ding a Dong. Maybe a whole bunch of other Dutch musicians over the years. That would be nice. That would be nice. What else? Yeah, the UK taking a risk. Absolutely, I think it's necessary. If I was in charge of the delegation, I'd be having regular conversations with the BBC, and there would be sweeping changes to the entire process. Because at the moment, I don't think anybody's really taking it that seriously. Anyway, I'm sure I'm forgetting some stuff, but this video's long enough. Let me know your thoughts. I'm sure some of you are not from the UK, so what would you like your country to do next year with regards to Eurovision, and what would you like to see the Dutch do as hosts next year? Who would you like to see host the contest? What would you like the slogan to be? I still say bloom, because it ties in with the whole flowers thing they've got going on in the Netherlands, and also the blooming of musical talent. I say bloom, which means it won't be. Any ideas of what you'd like the logo to look like? Would you prefer Rotterdam or Maastricht? Like I said, we'll probably know this time next week. I'll be making a video about that when the host city is announced. Would you like your country to sing in your language. So if you're from Iceland, would you like to see a song in Icelandic again? If you're from Sweden, would you like a Swedish language song? Let me know. And I think that's about it. An impromptu, is that the right word? I should know. I'm doing a creative writing master's degree. An off-the-cuff video inspired by one uploaded by Meg Green. Go and check her channel out. And that's about it. I will be back soon to talk about more stuff relating to Eurovision 2020, as well as my next look back installment, where I'll be talking about the 2015 contest, I believe, in Vienna. Feel free to look at the older videos if you so wish. Hopefully the quality wasn't too bad. It seems to be better than the last video. I apologise if it was pretty crap at times. And feel free to leave comments. It's much appreciated. Until next time, roll on Eurovision 2020. Let me know your thoughts. And bye for now.